What's up, YouTube? Knowledge is self-determination. So, I today, as a black man, wanted to make this video talking about some issues that really do concern us, black men in this country. I'll probably throw some other things in as my brain, veers off to the right and to the left, of these topics, segueing into other things that are kind of related. I wanted to start out by saying this first. I just watched a video by the brother Reef the Watcher, part of the LDBC, and he made he brought up Michael Rappaport, the white actor who the white wigger actor. Y'all know who the fuck he is. He's constantly apparently making fun of Dr. Bill Cosby. And this is what I'll say. I left a comment similar to this in Reef's comment section. But we are at fucking war. And in my opinion, all of the fucking white men that had been put up on charges, sexual misconduct, sexual abuse, rape, all of these different types of fucking charges, like the Bill O'Reillys and the Matt Lauers, the Kevin Spaceys, the Ben Roethlisbergers of the world, the Harvey Weinsteins, the Weinstein brothers, in fact. Kevin Spacey, from what I read, has over 45 complaints of sexual misconduct and or abuse from men. He's a flaming homosexual. And not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but damn, is he not culpable for what he does because he's a homosexual man, as opposed to a heterosexual man assaulting women? But in any event, we all know it's because he's white. But nobody seems to be making a big deal about these white men and their sexual misconduct. Cardi B has literally, listen, there is no evidence that actually convicts Bill Cosby. His trial was a fucking farce. It was a sham. They have no physical evidence that he did any of the things that they claimed that he did. He admitted to shit. He admitted that he was giving women quaaludes and all that kind of shit. He admitted that. But he also admitted that these women were seeking him out for that. Right? He didn't give anybody anything they didn't ask for. Cardi B, on the other hand, has admitted to doing the same thing, except the men did not ask to be drugged and then raped by a fucking homosexual friend of hers. These men did not ask for that shit. So how is Bill Cosby now a social pariah and fucking Cardi B is doing Pepsi commercials? How is that? Kevin Spacey's still getting work in Hollywood, but Bill Cosby is being ridiculed throughout the American media, social media, for being some type of crazed sex addict or some shit, some pervert. I'm not co-signing anything that Bill Cosby did, but what I am doing is bringing to light the fact that Bill Cosby is no more guilty than any of these other fucking people. But the problem with Bill Cosby is that Bill Cosby is a black person who will actually do good things for the black community, And if you are a black person asking what has Bill Cosby done for black people, then you should probably get the fuck off of social media and actually do some research, instead of listening to dumb fucks talk about dumb shit. He's giving more money to HBCUs than any fucking black celebrity currently. You understand what I'm saying? He has done more for the black community as a whole than most people will do in their fucking lifetime. This man has lost his daughter. His son has died over a decade ago. He just lost his daughter. Him and his wife were forced to divorce because they're trying to take all his assets and everything that he has. They're trying to destroy him. But yet Cardi B is now more popular than fucking ever. She's being endorsed by white America, by white supremacy. She was actually on a panel debating Bernie Sanders on some political shit or they were having a political conversation. And I gotta be honest with you, I've listened to Cardi B talk. What in the fuck could I possibly learn from a bitch who can barely speak the language? Her English is fucking horrible. It's terrible. And I gotta tell you, I don't think she's that fucking bright so far as these sorts of things are concerned. But moving along, the Eddie Murphy SNL thing. I understand the history between Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby. I understand that. I get that shit. You know, Bill Cosby ridiculed him and for his style, for his comedic style or whatever. And look, I get all of that. I get a lot of people in the industry have a lot of negative things to say about Bill Cosby. But it doesn't stop the fact that we're at war. See, other races of people can get on cold with their own, especially in situations like this, irrespective of how much dirt they've actually done in their own community or what they haven't done to actually support their community. But Bill Cosby has done things. He hasn't supported people the way they may have wanted, but he has done things to support black people. We are not taking our lessons from these other groups. We're jumping on the bandwagon and shit. And I would just say to Eddie Murphy, in all honesty, like seriously, like let's not forget that you got caught with your dick in the tranny's mouth. I'm just saying, you got caught. You know what I'm saying? You got busted in the worst way. But because that LGBTQ shit is more acceptable now, nobody's gonna drag his ass through the mud. I mean, seriously, how is he any better than Bill Cosby? How? How? And is that how he lasted in Hollywood so long? Because he don't mind switch hitting. I gotta ask that question. But I'm gonna move on from that because, like I said, his personal issue with Cosby, I can kind of understand, you know, maybe why he doesn't look at Bill Cosby in the greatest light. But at the same time, though, they've just set a precedence with the Bill Cosby thing. They can do this to any black man now, and they're continuing to do it. Quintez Cephas, who was actually found not guilty in his case, and I'm forgetting the other brother's name, and I apologize. Albert Wilson, I believe, who is in prison right now for raping a white girl that he never actually penetrated, and the white girl admitted that he didn't rape her, and he's still going to prison. We are being singled out, blackballed, railroaded, assassinated, taken off the scene. We're praising people who are actually guilty of doing the things that we're ignoring and not helping our brothers to get out of. And I'm finding it hard to understand, you know. And I wanted to say something else real quick about the Dr. Umar situation and everything. I know a lot of black people are real hesitant to trust Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, he's a very, very militant, very straightforward, direct person. A lot of people don't like that about him or whatever. And I gotta be honest with you, you know, my value for an individual has nothing to do with how I personally feel about them. If you are a benefit to our people, you're somebody who I may place value on. You're somebody who I'll listen to. You know, I don't like everything Umar does or says. I don't necessarily always like his approach to certain things or certain people, you know. Like I wasn't necessarily, you know, keen on his approach with Sister Vicky Dillard, you know, towards the end of their conversation. But it doesn't mean that Umar doesn't have something to say that we need to hear. That doesn't mean that his school is not good for black youth. Doesn't mean that at all. And I mean, let's be honest. People in the beginning didn't believe he was a doctor, when all they had to do was, you know, do some research. He never shied away from telling people what schools he went to, but people still doubted that he was an actual doctor. They still doubted that shit. You know what I'm saying? They still doubted it. More people started doing that research. That started to go away a little bit. He actually went to court, you know, about something that had some concern with his professional life. You know, these people, he didn't go to court for being a fraudulent doctor. You understand? They recognize the fact that he's an actual doctor with a PhD. So that kind of smoothed that over a little bit. But it took all of that for people to actually believe that this man's credentials were what they said they were. And there were black people out here who ridiculed him for talking about his education. And I'm going to say this, Dr. Boyce Watkins was one of those people. Dr. Boyce is somebody who I follow and I listen to because I believe that he is of value to the black community. He has something to offer black people, and we should listen to him. But I'm objective and I'm unbiased when it comes to these kinds of things. All I'm looking for is the truth within the situation. Dr. Boyce is kind of claiming ignorance on why Umar doesn't fuck with him. He doesn't understand and this, that, and the third. And Umar even said, look, you talked about me and put things out there in the world about me without consulting me or talking to me about these things. So why should I reach out to you when you didn't bother to reach out to me? You know, you want to start the healing process between us, take down your inflammatory videos of you talking shit about me. And maybe we could start from that point. I'm adding that last part. And I think that's a good point that he made. But I'm not saying that Dr. Boyce Watkins is not a value or benefit to the black community. I'm just highlighting this shit because it's a fucking fact. Umar told Vicky Dillard what Dr. Boyce Watkins could do to get back into his good graces if that's what he wanted to do. I haven't really seen Dr. Boyce really do that, you know. All he keeps saying is, you know, Umar can call me if he wants. Umar can call me. You know, and Dr. Boyce is maybe he's forgotten, but he overlooks the fact that like I said, he ridiculed and questioned Dr. Umar's the authenticity of his education. He did do that. Understand? He did do that. I remember watching the video and him saying, you know, why does he have to always talk about his degree and blah blah blah? It makes me question whether he really has it. He did this. He said these things. I'm not making that shit up. But Dr. Boyce believes that the only issue that Umar has with him is him questioning what is going on with the funds for the school. That's not the only thing that you did, bruh. That's not the only thing that you did. You got to stop bullshitting yourself with that one, because that is not the only thing you did. But to move along from that point, now, so we know that he's a certified school psychologist. We know he's a PhD. You know, people didn't even believe that he was going to actually purchase properties. He has the properties now. Now people are ridiculing and criticizing and in disbelief of him actually opening the schools. Look, Colin Kaepernick just came out with some Air Force Ones. They sold out in minutes. Popeye's Chicken for the last few months has been making hundreds of fucking millions of dollars off of the stomachs and the gluttony of black people wanting chicken sandwiches. Brothers have gone to prison for robbery, murder, because of Popeye's Chicken. They've made hundreds of millions of dollars. And I brought up the Umar Johnson thing to segue into the Dr. Claude Anderson thing. Dr. Claude Anderson, the elder, has been speaking out for and trying to do the best he can for black people for fucking decades. For decades. His books are decades old. He has the Harvest Institute that black people don't even fucking donate to. He hasn't had one single fucking celebrity donate to his cause. Now, people want to say Dr. Umar's been doing this for a while. How come he hasn't had his school funded, blah, blah, blah. If we want to take the length of time into account for why a black movement hasn't really taken off, well, let's look at all of the other black movements, all of the black owned schools in the country, all of the other black people who are trying to push us forward. We don't support them. We don't donate money to these organizations. Dr. Claude Anderson has been doing what he's doing longer than Umar's been a fucking doctor. You understand what I'm saying? And he talks about how black people don't support him. And he can't even understand why they don't. He is certified. His record is on point. Check his resume. Everything that he says he is, and he's done it. And he still doesn't get the financial support. You know what I'm saying? He still doesn't get the support from black people. It's almost 2020, and Dr. Claude Anderson is just now starting to get more recognized by the black community because of Dr. Boyce Watkins' platform and now the Breakfast Club. And I don't understand why we link the amount of time somebody's been trying to get their shit off the ground with how legitimate they are. Would any black person actually come out and say that Dr. Claude Anderson is not legit? I don't think there's a black person on this planet that will actually call into question Dr. Claude Anderson and what he's done, because he's been doing it too fucking long for him to be a fraud at this point. You understand? He's even said it. He like, I don't make any money. I don't take any money from what I'm doing. All I do is put money into helping black people, and black people don't put money into helping him help us. So how is this any different from what Umar's doing? We haven't supported Dr. Claude Anderson in over 40 fucking years. You know what I'm saying? We haven't supported him at all. He's not, he isn't the presence that Umar is. He isn't the orator that Umar is. I love Dr. Claude Anderson's lectures, but Umar Umar is more directing in your face, you know. So what I'm really trying to fucking understand is, why do we equate how long somebody's been trying to raise money for their project with how successful it is or how legitimate they are? People are saying he's been doing this for over 10 years. How come he hasn't donated any money yet? Because niggas can't stop spending $2 trillion a year on crap. That's why. We spend $2 trillion, damn near $2 trillion a year in this country buying bullshit. Cars, sneakers, chicken sandwiches, Gucci bags, and all that kind of shit. Going on vacation and shit like that. We spend up to $2 trillion a year. I think it was like 1.3 or some shit like that currently, but I think this year is going to go up to actually 2 trillion. We spend more money than most nations have in their fucking budget yearly, and we don't support anything positive that our people are trying to do. $2 trillion. Do you know how many fucking millionaires we could have in the black community with $2 trillion? Let's see, $1 billion. $1 billion is 1,000 million, right? So $10 billion would be 10,000 million. You get it? So $1 trillion is 1 million. Think about that for a second. 1 million black people could be fucking millionaires with just $1 trillion. 2 million black people could be halfway to a fucking $1 million. Do you get what I'm saying? We could have way more wealth in our community if we spent our money with each other, built up our schools and our communities, as opposed to talking shit about why it's taking you so long to get that shit off the ground. It's a self-defeating argument. How come what you're doing hasn't gotten off the ground? Because black people would rather eat fucking chicken sandwiches and buy sneakers. I mean, I can't even understand for the life of me how even the most uneducated of us can't see that pattern and can't recognize what's really going on. We are at fucking war. White supremacy reverses everything. They make us idolize the people that we should be fucking shunning in the community. Cardi B admitted to fucking drugging men, and some of them actually being raped by homosexuals while they were drugged and passed out. She's now more popular than fucking ever because after admitting that, white supremacy has put her up on the pedestal after admitting that kind of shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Do y'all understand where I'm coming from with this shit? And we are jumping on the bandwagon of destroying the men in our community because it's taking them too long to raise money to help black people, because black people would rather eat chicken sandwiches, buy sneakers, and bullshit apparel and dumb shit, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Like Will Smith said, we Spend money we don't have to buy shit we don't need to impress people we don't like.